What's up, guys? Vaping with Spike Lee is back. So I decided to do a review on both my Vamo and my Nautilus, but I'll post two separate videos. But for this one, I'm just going to do a quick review on the Vamo. So let's get into it. This is a Vamo V2, and I got it off of fasttech.com for $25. The shipping took about a month and a half, but it was free. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but what do you expect buying it from China? So, back to the mod. This is a variable voltage, variable wattage mod, and it can house a 18650 or an 18350. Let's go top to bottom on this thing. So, we got some 510 and ego threads. There's a shot of it. The threads are very nice on this. They're real crisp. You don't usually have any trouble threading any tanks on. The ego threads I don't use because I don't really use ego tanks, and the ones that I have used, they work very well. All the contacts are nice. So moving down, the beauty ring, what looks like a beauty ring, does not come off, which is a problem in some cases, but I don't have to worry about that since I don't use ego threads. But it doesn't come off. That's my main point. Next, you got your LCD screen, which has the variable voltage, variable wattage, battery life, and ohm reader. On volts, you start out, go down to 3 volts. Starts at 3 volts, and it goes up in 0.1 volt increments up to 6 volts. And then it just loops back around to 3. If you hold both of these buttons in, it switches to that W, and you get watt mode. At that point, it goes to 15 watts, and it goes in 0.5 increments up to 15, and then loops back to 3 watts. Now, to switch it back to volts, hold in both buttons, and it goes back to volts. Now, on the minus button, if you hold that in, it'll show your battery life. So my battery is at 3.7 volts right now. On the plus button, to add voltage, watts, if you hold that in, that is your ohm reader. Since I don't have a tank on it right now, it's going to read 9.9 just because there's nothing to read. But if I throw my Nautilus on here, I have a 1.6 ohm coil in here, so this reader is pretty accurate. If I hold it in, reads 1.6. Okay. Your firing button is this big round button here. So it's just a 3 simple button configuration. There's no complication in trying to scroll through menus with one button or anything. It's very simplistic and straightforward. Moving down, we have the extension tube right here, and you can take this off. The threads are kind of scratchy. I mean, they're not the best, but they're not the worst. They work. They do their purpose. My battery. And aside from the extension tube being able to screw off, you screw off your end cap here, which has a normal metal spring in there. And it's a little bit flimsy. It's kind of easy to push in, but I haven't had any problems with it, and I've had this Vamo for a little bit of time, so it's withstood pretty well so far. The threads on this aren't bad. It doesn't scratch or anything much. It's a little bit noisy, but it's not the worst. So whenever you put your battery in and then twist on your end cap, if you watch the LCD screen, it will notify you that there's a battery in by blinking 3 times. It doesn't mean that it turns the system on. That just means that the mod recognizes that a battery is in it. If you click the button 5 times, it will turn your system on. And just like turning it on, 5 clicks also turns it off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, system turns off. And basically that's everything about this. The look of it is very nice. It's not quite a matte finish, but it's not a very shiny like gloss finish. It's kind of a sparkly metal finish. So I think it looks nice, but that's just my opinion. It's a very nice mod overall. It's reliable. The ohm reader is always right. The battery level reader is correct every time I check it. And the button never misfires, or you never half click it or anything. Another big thing for me is I hate buttons that rattle. And with this mod, you don't hear any rattle, which is awesome because, you know, everything's tight and they're not going to just fall out on you or break on you, which is a big plus for me. So overall, it's an awesome mod, especially for $25. I'm very, very happy with it. So let's throw the tank back on. Okay, and turn the battery on. Crank it up to, I'll go to 5 volts. So we're at 5 volts. And let's try it out. It's extremely nice. I never really have a misfire with this vamo, and a lot of tanks thread onto it very easily. I've only had trouble with a K1000 tank that had posts that were too long and didn't fit the 510 connection properly, but it still worked if you loosened it a little bit. Also, it's the normal 22mm size, and that's about it for this mod. It's awesome. You should definitely pick one up if you're just getting into mods. It's a great starter, especially for a low price. I mean, you cannot beat $25. So if you're starting out with the little ego batteries that are, you know, the 650 mAh or 900 mAh, you could definitely easily work your way up to this, and very quickly. The only thing you got to worry about then is the batteries that it takes, and they're cheap. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. This is the Vamo V2, and it's a nice mod. I really like it. Peace out, guys.